everyone, my name is Priyanka Chaudhary. I'm a big data architect in Amazon Web Services. Today, for Analytics in 15, we'll be covering what's new in Amazon EMR. So, let's start our journey with our agenda. So first in agenda, we'll be talking about introduction of Amazon EMR, a brief introduction, what is EMR, and then we'll be touch base little bit about EMR optimized runtime options, how you can save the money on the I'm running the EMR clusters. Next, we'll be covering new features which is supporting of transactional data lake. After that, we'll be covering little bit about three new enhancement which happened for different options of EMR, just like EMR on EC2 enhancements, EMR on Elastic Kubernetes Services enhancement, and the last one will be covering EMR Serverless. So let's start. So first, let's start with what is EMR exactly. So it's an AWS service where you can easily run your applications like Hive, Presto, Trino, HBase, Flink, and many more open source applications. In fact, like you can run your Spark, Flink, Iceberg, Hoodie. A lot more popular OSS like applications are also supported. So the good thing about using Amazon EMR is you can get those latest open source version of frameworks within 60 days of launch. Next will it offers you like multiple workload options and you can run up to 3x faster open source Spark jobs and 50 to 80% reduction in cost because Amazon EMR options you'll get like multiple options of EC2 spot, EC2 savings plan, reserve instances, per second billing of flexibility. So it's a great performance at lower cost. So you don't have to worry about how much storage you need when you are starting your cluster because it can scale compute and storage independent of each other. So let's start. So these are the common EMR optimized runtime options are available. The first one is Amazon EMR on Amazon EC2, which is a basic version of Amazon EMR, which is you can pick and choose your cluster size, and it will create EMR cluster for you here. The second one is if you are looking for container version of your Hadoop cluster for better runtime, better optimization of the performance. So you can leverage EMR on EKS, which offers you to run the EMR cluster on top of Kubernetes cluster on the Fargate, which is serverless as well. So if customer wants to leverage Outpost also, where you can keep the servers in-house with AWS Outpost, they can create EMR cluster on top of that also. So that is a third option available, Amazon EMR on AWS Outpost. And the fourth one, which is like a new one out of all four, is Amazon EMR Serverless. Now let's talk about some pricing options. So in pricing options, we do have first one called transient clusters. So what is transient cluster exactly? So basically, if you think about like you want to run some Spark workloads and high workloads in the night at specific window time, then you can choose transient cluster, which can save a lot of money. You don't have to run your EMR cluster the over day. The second one is savings plan and reserve instances. If the customer knows that they will be running this Spark cluster or EMR cluster for over 2 years or 3 years, then they can go under saving plans, which is offered by EC2 instances. You can go with the reserved instances. The third one is spot instances and instance fleet, which is very popular and common as well. So there you will use spot instances, which can taken by AWS anytime, but you can use higher version of those instances so that your Spark workload or high workloads are working faster. And as soon as your work is done, if spot instances is gone and instance fleet is there for you to support. Now let's go with the fourth method, which is Amazon Graviton instances. So Amazon Graviton is a specific processor which is offered by AWS, which can provide you the improved performance up to 17 to 21% compared to any M6 instance type. and it can reduce the cost also to about 7 to 13% with the same size comparable M5 instances. So it's a good way to save the money because you are getting better performance, you're getting lower cost, and up to 13% better price performance in terms of TCO. Now let's go to the next slide. So nowadays, like transactional data lake support is very common in the market, and everyone wants to create the data lakes with the help of Apache Hudi, Iceberg, and OSS Delta Lake. So our Amazon EMR also supports all three of these frameworks. So basically, Amazon EMR 6.11 that includes Amazon Apache Hudi 0.13.0, Apache Iceberg 1.2.0, and OSX Delta Lake 2.2.0. Now let's go to the next slide, which will cover all the enhancement. Basically, for 2023 in Amazon EMR on EC2 23, we have like so many enhancement had occurred. Number one is you can launch your cluster in private subnet. So by launching this cluster in the private subnet, now you can save the almost like 30% time, startup time in running those EMR cluster. Basically, it is very good in terms of transient cluster. When you're using transient cluster, you just need like a very less time to start your cluster. Second one is fine grain access control. With fine grain access control, now AWS Lake Formation allows you to define and enforce database, tables, and column level permissions with open source data processing engines such as Apache Spark and Apache Hive running on Amazon EMR. The next one is now AWS Graviton 3 processors are the latest in the AWS Graviton processor family, and C7G, which is the new Graviton 3, is launched. So now Amazon EMR launches support for EC2 with C7G instance also, which can improve your cost performance for Apache Spark workload up to 13%. The fourth one is very very important for developer, any developer I would say, because by this enhancement, now Amazon EMR on EC2 now provides you contextual error details that makes it easier to troubleshoot cluster provisioning failure. So these are the very important enhancement happen. Now let's go to our next topic, which is Amazon EMR and Amazon EKS. First of all, like why it is really important, what are the features we are getting. So basically, by running your Amazon EKS cluster on EMR on Amazon EKS cluster, you can build Spark application and you don't have to wait for infrastructure to come up. You can execute your SQL scripts directly without with API or without API. You can unify your data governance for analytics. You can consolidate your compute across the organization for optimized cost. You can use your choice of version of Spark application. So some of your workload is running on Spark 3.0 and some are running on 3.3. Then you can run both in parallel in the same cluster itself. You can start your jobs quickly. There is no need of cluster provisioning delay. You can run your application on single AZ or multiple AZ according to your choice. Choose serverless with AWS Fargate, which supports EKS. So now you can leverage that service and forget about your EKS cluster sizing as well. You can run your job with your own execution rule, run multiple version of Spark, which I already talked about. So these are the really important features which enhance the EMR cluster features with the help of Amazon EKS clusters. So there are a couple of enhancement happen further on Amazon EMR on EKS. Let's talk about those. First of all, with these new features, the first feature was launched that now you have a flexible job submission models, meaning now it supports Spark operators and Spark Submit. You now have the flexibility to submit your Apache Spark jobs via your preferred submission model without needing to change your application. The number two is vertical auto scaling. So initially, when EMR was launched, horizontal auto scaling was supported, but with this year, Vertical auto scaling automatically can scale your memory and CPU allocated to EMR Spark application based on its real time and historic resource utilization. With Amazon EMR on EKS, now you can achieve better performance as well. So now with this enhancement, you can run your fast the workloads even faster, like 5.37x faster at 4.3x lower cost as well. And with this EMR on EKS enhancement, now you can administer your custom jobs, scheduling, container log, rotation, and job execution retries can be done multiple times. So these are the very important features launched this year as part of Amazon EMR on EKS. Now let's talk about EMR Serverless, which was uh, launched last year. So basically, what is Amazon EMR Serverless? It is a managed version of Amazon EMR where you can get all the benefits of EMR without managing any clusters and servers. So basically, you can run your frameworks very easily. Just pick a version and run. That's it. I mean, you don't have to worry about like how the scaling gonna happen. Everything will work automatically for you. Now, you can do the performance optimized version of EMR serverless, which produce 2x better performance. You can automatically scale. You don't have to rush guess the cluster sizes. So everything will be taken care by managed version of Amazon EMR. Multi-AZ resiliency from day one. So basically, if any AZ gets down because of some reason, then it provides you the flexibility that your cluster stays unimpact. So there will be no impact on your cluster with this Amazon EMR serverless. You can optimize cost automatically and fine grain your scale your reduced cost. And also one of the very important feature is like one integration with familiar tool like Apache Airflow, which we can use it for any orchestration purposes as well. So number one is large worker nodes. So basically, with EMR serverless, now it now offers worker configuration of 8 vCPU with up to 60 GB memory and 16 vCPU with up to 120 GB memory. That will allow you to run more compute or more memory intensive workload on EMR serverless. Number two is like you can bring your own libraries and application dependency. This is very important feature since every organization wants to maintain their images of their container, images of your Spark application, what version they are using by themselves. You can bring your image, put it in ECR, and use it in EMR serverless. That's the main enhancement happening. The third one is really important since every organization always worried about how much resources has been consumed by my job. So now with this, when you're running Spark or high workload, it is useful to see resources used by individual job run to help understand manage your total cost. And the last, not the least, which is Amazon EMR Serverless is now supporting Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act eligible, which is called HIPAA, HIT Trust, which is Health Information Trust Alliance certified, System and Organization Control, and Payment Control Industry Data Security Standards as well. So that's all. So we have so many features already learned about in this chat, and we have so many come up as well. So that's all from my side. Thank you. Hope you learned something new today about Amazon EMR. Thank you.